My name's Sam. I'm the founder of Soma Meditation. I am a qualified Vedic meditation teacher. I've been practicing for over 6 years. Quite a lot of practicing has been going on. To become a teacher, I had to meditate a lot. I had to do a 3.5 month intensive teacher training in Bali. No phones, no contact with the outside world. Very much going into a monastic style of living. The purpose of this video is to give you a little introduction into Vedic meditation, because I know Vedic meditation or other types of meditation can be difficult to sort of get your head around. There's so many different types, it's so various, and it can be really complicated to understand which one is the right one for you. Firstly, there are broadly 2 types of meditations out there. You have contemplative forms of meditation, which is like being guided. You see that with headspace, with calm. They'd be guiding you, you're going on a journey. You're kind of relying on a third party to help you do your meditation. And then you have the concentrative form of meditation, which is when you start focusing on something. Now this could be your breath, or it could be a flame, or an object, some sort of object. You're putting your attention to that object or the breath. And then you have something we call effortless transcendence. And effortless transcendence is somewhere between the 2, where we are, well, it actually fits into its own category really, where we are thinking a mantra, a sound in the mind. And this is what a teacher does, is they perform what we call a puja ceremony, which is a gratification ceremony honoring the tradition. It's been passed down thousands of years. And we perform that ceremony, it creates a lovely atmosphere. We then, as teachers, will then pass our student a mantra, a sound. And a mantra it actually means mind vehicle. It's a sound that affects the mind. It allows the mind to go into deeper states and a way to transcend, to go beyond the current experience of consciousness. Now, we are very used to the states of consciousness such as the waking state, the sleeping state, and the dreaming state. In Vedic meditation, these mantras enable us to go in and access a new state of consciousness where there is no thinking and where we can go into a deep layer of rest. Practicing Vedic meditation is the equivalent of 2 to 5 times, roughly 2 to 5 times as deeper sleep than you get at bedtime. So you're getting something new. And that's the important thing with this, is to understand that meditation isn't just some hippie thing that's sort of trendy and so on. There's scientific data backing up all of this. Okay, we know the brain goes into these deep states during meditation, even if you've got loads of thoughts going on. And that's another misconception with meditation, is that we have thoughts the whole time. And if I'm thinking, then I'm not meditating. It's just not true in this practice. It's actually encouraged to allow the thoughts to bubble up if they need to, and then you just become aware of them, and then we follow some procedures and then come back to the mantra, and it's all part of it. Because in this tradition, when we have thoughts, that is stress being released from our nervous system, and that's what we want. We don't want to go into a deep meditation and then not get rid of any stress. We want to get rid of stress because that cleans up our system. And that's what we want. That means that eventually stress can't then affect us, because we've gotten rid of all this stress that we've been holding in our systems, even down to a cellular level. And we get to move forward, and we get to be happier. And there's no anxiety, there's no depression. All of these things are thought to be a symptom of stress. And this practice goes straight in for that stress release. And that's why we meditate twice a day. Perfect meditator will be twice a day for 20 minutes each time. Okay? We do the morning one, or we do a lunchtime one, or an evening one, or an afternoon one, or a 11 o'clock one. Whenever it is, as long as we get 2 in, that's the most important thing. Some people are just going to manage 1 at the moment, and then they'll build it up. Maybe they've got families and time. I know what time's like when you've got kids. Okay? I've seen it. I don't personally know, but I've seen it. and I finally understood what it meant. The first one is what I call the meditation when we wake up in the morning, we feel relaxed and refreshed, and we've had a good night's sleep, hopefully, and that tends to improve when someone learns to meditate anyway. And we're calm, we sit down, we do our meditation, and that allows us to go into a deep stress. It gets to remove and bring up all the deep stress from our past, our history, ever since childhood or being in our mother's belly, not even in this world yet. Okay? And then we have the second meditation, and the second meditation paves the way for the first meditation. Because we go to work, we go to school, or we're doing whatever we're doing during the day, and that's going to bring in stress just by being out there and interacting in the world. It's going to be stressful. You might not realize it now, but it is. And so we go into our afternoon meditation, and that basically just releases all the stress that we've accumulated from that day. I call the second meditation in the afternoon or evening the maintenance meditation. Even if you just do one meditation in the afternoon, you're at least just not letting the new stress enter our system and stay there for too long. We're allowing it to flow through us, and that's the important thing. And then when we combine it with the second one, so we have 2 meditations a day, we start to get rid of all the old stuff that has gotten us to this point of needing to come to learn to meditate in the first place, which you'll find will be a very good thing, and you're quite glad that you had it because it gives you a whole new tool set to create long and lasting happiness and, dare I say it, bliss. If some want to go down that sort of enlightenment journey and spiritual journey, they can do that. But it is also a very practical tool just to give us more energy, more vitality, get our brains working more efficiently and more creative. It's a huge thing for creativity, and just basically getting our whole body back into balance. So it's an amazing technique, and it's so simple, but yet so effective. The way that I teach it is over 4 sessions. And if you do a group course, the first session is always private, it's one-to-one. You can do that with me in person here, or we can do it online via Zoom. It really doesn't matter. Then we have the second, third, and fourth sessions, which are on consecutive days. So say the first session's on Thursday, second session's on Friday, the third on Saturday, the fourth on Sunday. And then we join up as a group for those last 3 sessions. The second session, which is the first group session, is basically talking about the mechanics of this practice, how to do it right, where to do it, when to do it, and so on, all the nitty-gritty parts. And then the third session, we will go through the physical aspects of meditation. What is stress? How is it affecting us? We start to realize that things are stressing us out. You especially know that after you've learned meditation, because you start to realize what true relaxation is. And so we kind of just go in and we start to experiment and see what's working, see what isn't working, fine-tuning the technique. But when we understand the science of what's happening with stress and how it's affecting our bodies, we start to get on board with this meditation thing. Not only is it the experience that's proof enough in our own experience, but understanding the physical mechanics and getting into the science of it all can also help our intellect get on side as well. So third one, really important session. They're all important, but the third one really brings it home. We start to understand why we're going to commit to this practice. It's really important, and you're going to start to see effects that are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It just doesn't stop coming. It's amazing. And then we get into the fourth session, which I start to talk about transcendence. And transcendence, the different states of consciousness that come from learning this practice. We talked about enlightenment and going down those paths if we want to. It's always an option. It's not something we have to purposefully set out to do. For me, I just found that I was becoming more and more spiritual the more I did this practice. I started to think about others more than myself, and so on. We really start to grow as a person, and it's a truly amazing journey. And I always find that Vedic meditation is that pinnacle point in someone's life. It was for me. I was 26 years old. It just started to turn the tide for my life, and how I interacted with the world and how the world was interacting with me and how I was perceiving the world started to change as well. I became much more confident. I was no longer a nervous wreck, and so on. So there's so many benefits that can be learned from this. Such a simple practice. But yeah, so if you feel the call to learn this practice, I try and keep my groups between 5 and 7 people. I like to keep them small so I can engage and give everyone what they need during those session times. The overall course duration is about 7 hours, but you're going to get everything you need from that, and then plus you have the option to join my WhatsApp group for the meditators group, where I do 2 group meditations a week. And then that gives you access to retreats and other things later down the line if you choose to go down that route. This is the little introduction. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's helped you understand a little bit more about Vedic meditation, and I look forward to maybe one day meeting you.